Sony and Firewalk Studios have been getting absolutely roasted for Concord. It is a game that is a 5v5 Overwatch clone that appears to feature a diverse and inclusive cast of characters and mediocre gameplay. But now the early access beta has released and it is drawing less than 1,200 concurrent players. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I think we all expected this game to be a giant failure for Sony, but it appears that so far that's definitely happening. This is a That Park Place article. It says Firewalk Studios' upcoming team shooter Concord is not drawing in many players during its early access beta. Now, there are a few key issues with this that honestly I've been pointing out for weeks at this point, months at this point, since they initially announced this game. First of all, the first beta that is going on currently is a closed beta, meaning you would have had to pre-order the game, or if you pre-order the game, you get 5 codes to give to friends. When you are talking about a new IP, that is not going to fly. It's not going to bring people, and you are talking about a genre that also has many other free alternatives that are probably better than it, like Overwatch, for example. I can go and play Overwatch for free right now, and it's not a new IP. When you are creating a new IP, you need to give as many people a chance to play it as possible to get people to purchase it, especially a game that is $50. It's not a full price 70, but it is 50. It's still probably $50 too much, but next week there's going to be a free open beta, and I think that there should have been a full week span instead that was a free beta to try to bring people in, not just having 2 days as a free beta period. That's not a way you're going to bring people in, especially people who are already heavily criticizing your game. I mean, the teasers and trailers for this have not gone over positively. They've all gotten absolutely ratioed, but it says, of course, in order to participate in this early access beta, one needs to pre-order the game or receive a code from someone who did pre-order it. So yeah, you either pre-order the game or you get a code from someone else, but judging by the numbers, there aren't a lot of people who pre-ordered this. It says, pre-ordering any edition of Concord will grant you access to the beta weekend, as well as 4 extra codes you can share with friends, so you can squad up with your own crew and take on rival crews together. And this is coming out on 2 platforms. It's coming out on PC, and it is coming out on PlayStation 5, but we know at least the Steam numbers, and so far the player base is looking pretty rough. As you can see, the all-time peak for the weekend is 1,124 gamers, which is definitely a disaster. But of course, currently playing at the time of this article being written was 584. Those are not numbers that I look at and go, wow, this seems like a product that a lot of people are genuinely interested in. And if this had like 20 or 25,000 people playing it, I'd be like, wow, those are really great numbers for a relatively unknown studio and Sony with this new franchise, but that's not happening here. We are talking about 1,124 people, and yes, it is on another platform, and we have no idea what those player numbers are like, but one would assume they're not going to be drastically different. I said this with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as well. I don't think PC is going to have, 1,000 people, and PlayStation 5 is going to have 20,000 people. I just don't see that happening, especially when we are talking about a 5v5 hero shooter, and we know that, Overwatch has done really, really great on PC, so I don't necessarily think that that is going to be the case, and I see a lot of people talking about this beta. There are some individuals who have played it. I personally was not going to pre-order it, and I didn't find a key, so I am going to be trying it out next weekend during the open beta, because of course, it's only fair, but people are saying things like, like it was a free beta and graphically it looks nice in cutscenes, and everything else is a negative. The character movements feel sloppy and slow, the maps feel lifeless and boring, no character felt good. I've seen a little bit of footage, and it seems very similar to a game like Overwatch, but drastically different in terms of things like TTK. The time to kill seems absolutely insane, and I don't see a way that you are going to bring those types of players who have played games like Overwatch into this, because one major reason why Overwatch is so popular is because you can go on these very quick paced killing sprees, and that's just what works with these types of games. And of course, I've talked about this quite a few times on the channel. All of the teasers and trailers have gotten absolutely annihilated by gamers. As you can see, this is the one from a month ago on the official PlayStation account, Concord gameplay trailer, PS5 games, and it had 535,000 views, which is a hefty amount, but 6.5k likes to 67,000 dislikes, proving that everyone was not particularly excited for this. And then you had the Concord beta trailer 3 days ago. They were trying to, of course, promote this. 76,000 views, 1.6k likes to 9.6k dislikes. I honestly have not seen any sort of official trailers for this game be positively ratioed, have more likes than dislikes. And in the comments, you can't even really find anyone who is praising the way that this game looks. I mean, all of the threads and the comments are negative, saying it looks like one of those fake games that are played in the background in a movie or a TV show. I literally only clicked to see the comments, the video's paused. It's like ordering Guardians of the Galaxy from Temu. The boardroom investors were really cooking with this one. The pitch was like, wanna shut down some studios. The most shocking thing about this trailer was that Sony left the comments open. I completely agree. I'm shocked that they have not shut the comments off on these teasers, because usually they do. Usually they see the fact that it's mostly negative attention that they're getting, and then they shut them off thinking that it's going to help, but really it doesn't. It only backfires for them. Maybe they finally are understanding that, but I highly doubt it. I am not going to sit here and say Sony's learning from us, because they haven't listened to us for years at this point. It says, what if we made Overwatch but made the characters' designs much less interesting? It's like if Overwatch and Guardians of the Galaxy had a baby, but it turns out that they were secretly related. Finally, Overwatch 0.5. I mean, truly, the memes just write themselves with this one. I don't know who sat down and said, this is what the gaming industry is missing. This is the gap we can fill. This is the content that people want. Because truly and genuinely, it seems like absolutely nobody is excited about this or interested in it, or judging by the player numbers, even testing it out. I mean, these are abysmal numbers. I mean, 1,124 is the most you can muster. And yes, maybe a full release, these numbers will be significantly higher. There are people who end up being busy over the weekend. They don't really get a chance to sit and play games all that much, only on certain weekends or certain days. But at the same time, you'd think that they would at least be like 10,000 or even 5,000. When the open beta starts next week, it will be interesting to see if they can actually muster up any significant player numbers, or if this game is going to clearly be dead on arrival. It will be interesting to see how Sony also responds to this, and developers at Firewalk respond to this, if they make any statements, if they try to pump out one more open beta, hoping to, get more people interested in the title, because it does release in August. Who knows? But, well, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Concord, and I will be testing out the open beta next week, and I have to say, I am not excited for it at all whatsoever. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.